What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a quick look at the 2024 Silverado EV RST. This is Chevy's top-of-the-line Silverado EV at this point, at least. There's really only a couple trims you can get. You can get the work truck, 3WT, 4WT, or this top-of-the-line RST model. It's gonna have all the bells and whistles. It's got the most horsepower. It's fully loaded. And we're gonna take a look at all of its features in this video, and then we're gonna take it for a quick test drive and see how it really compares when we put it up against something like the Cybertruck. All right, let's start here in the front. As you can probably tell, you have a super aggressive front end. A lot of like angles and kind of sharp accents and things, especially down here on the ground effects. And just a lot of contrasty angles and stuff. Not a lot of contrasting colors and stuff. This is the just black paint, that's all they call it, no fancy name, just black. You get a lot of nice angles, and it's a pretty aggressive front end. Almost if you like chopped it off, you'd be like, no, let's cover this part up. Oh, it's just like a Blazer or something like that. Like it's got that same styling here on this kind of upgraded Silverado EV here. Now you probably noticed, because it's the only thing you can see, is this LED daytime running light / light bar that runs across the front here. It has a little like welcome animation it does, and this Chevy badge lights up as well. Your main beams and your high beams are down here in this portion, and this also works as your turn signal. You do have some like little air pass-throughs here and down here as well. Tons and tons of ultrasonic sensors on this thing. That's something you do not get on the Cybertruck at all. There's even some on the sides. There's some in the back over there. Get a little bow tie accent on the reflector there. So you've got all the ultrasonic sensors, but you also have your front-facing camera that works with your HD surround vision. Now, underneath here, we've got Chevy's e-trunk. This is basically just their frunk, but they call it the e-trunk. And you can open it from the outside by double pressing on the key fob. It does take a sec, but it will open up. Now, I'm gonna say this may just be my model that I'm looking at here, but it will not close for me. So I've tried the key fob, I've tried the button right here. The only way it closes is using the button on the inside. So that's probably just a me thing or this specific one, but just keep that in mind. Got our dual level charging cable here. We got a sunshade, I think is what is in here. We've got an air compressor back there, a tire inflation kit, all of your different things for your dual level cable, towing eye here. Little light here, and then that button that I said doesn't work. Windshield wiper fluid, nice and easy to access. And then you do have a 120 volt outlet up front here in the e-trunk, and then 2 places to put a drink. 10.7 cubic feet of space here in the e-trunk. But if we work our way around to the side here, you'll notice these wheels. Holy cow, are these massive wheels. 24-inch wheels with 24-inch tires on them as well. Absolutely monstrous, gaudy, showy wheels here. I think they look really good though, but I mean, they give it such a mean stance. And this does have an adaptive air suspension, so you can raise that and lower it depending on your preference. It has an entry and exit mode as well. I think this is on the entry and exit mode or the normal, one of the two. So it's on the lower end, but you can raise this thing up. And I've got a shot here to show you what that looks like. But you've got your Silverado EV badging. You've got assist steps here with some EV badging on it. Keyless access on the door panels. Giant side mirrors here, blind spot monitoring, auto dimming. They have the camera built in for your HD surround vision, turn signals, they're heated, the whole nine, but big old mirrors up here. If we hop up top, you've got a full sheet fixed panoramic sunroof here, so you can't close it or anything like that, but you do get a lot of nice light into the second row and makes the cabin feel a lot bigger. I really do understand when people say it reminds them of the Avalanche. I mean, this is just a straight callback to it right here with this little accent piece, and also with that Midgate we looked at. Now over here on the side, you have your charging ports. You can open that up. You get a little LED light on the inside. 350 kilowatt DC fast charging, 19.2 kilowatt AC charging. And Chevy claims you'll get 100 miles with 10 minutes of charging at a DC fast charger. I don't really have a way to test that, but we'll go with what they say for now. But as far as performance and battery capacity, this has a 205 kilowatt hour battery pack on board. That's going to give you 754 horsepower, 785 pound-feet of torque, and an estimated EPA range of 440 miles here on this RST. Now coming around here to the back, you've got some assist steps right here, some LED taillights that are nice sculpted 3-dimensional taillights with these little plastic shell and all these kind of unique texturing bits. I really like that. You do have a soft tonneau cover up top. I'm not a big fan of soft tonneaus, so I've rolled it back, but you do have one. And then you'll notice up there that you've got 2 cameras. One of those is your rear view mirror camera, and then one of those is a bed camera, which is great. Also, you'll notice some lighting up there as well. You do have LED lights in the bed and a spray-in bed liner here from Chevy. You do also have a power wall back here, and that's gonna give you 4 120 volt outlets and 1 240 volt outlet. But if we come around here to the back, a pretty just standard looking Silverado back end. If you didn't see the EV badging, you probably wouldn't know. It just looks pretty standard unless you were to get down low and be like, oh, there's no exhaust. Then you probably know it's an EV. But a big Chevy bow tie here in the center. RST badging that's giant, Silverado badging that's giant. You do have 10,000 pounds of towing capacity there, which is nice. More ultrasonic sensors, like I mentioned. But it really gets interesting here on this Multiflex tailgate. So you've got all these different buttons here next to your rear view camera here. You can push this one, and it's gonna drop the entire tailgate down. You know, we're used to seeing that. You have to raise it back up. It's not a power raise lift gate. But this part is just gonna drop the middle portion of the tailgate down. So you could do things like, you know, put a laptop up here or clipboard or whatever kind of work stuff you might need. You can also grab this button and lift this portion up. So you can, you know, block off larger storage if you want just a little lip here. But it gets even more practical. We can drop the tailgate here, then drop the middle flex part, and then drop this step. Now we have a nice and easy way to get into the bed of the truck, just with using this step up right here. Additionally, with this little extra step here, when it's just in the normal tailgate position, you can lift it up here and get like a little wall to kind of protect stuff that's maybe could slip out of the back of the bed here. A lot of functionality here on this Multiflex tailgate. But we have something else special, and that is this Multiflex Midgate, and it's actually behind the seats here. So I've done a walkthrough on how to do this, but basically you lift up here, pull the bench seating up, pull this lever here. That will drop this back portion. Once you've got both down, you'll notice you have this little carpeted area here. That's so you can actually take off the back windshield and put it here. And what that allows you to do is drop this entire portion down. So that's the like ultimate configuration, but you can also just drop down these 2 portions here without taking the back windshield off by hitting this button here. Will unlock, and you can pull this down. Then effectively you get just extra storage that extends into the cab. And of course you can drop that portion down right there as well. But if we want to do the whole thing, here's what you can do. You can pull these levers here, which will unlock the window here. Then you get these little rubber grab points. You can pick up the whole windshield, set it down into the carpeted area, and then boom, snap it into place. Then you have these little arms you can push down to lock it in extra tight. And then once you have the window secured like that and you were to push this button, it's gonna unlock the entire midgate and you can just drop the whole thing down. Boom, just like that. Now, if we were to take out that tonneau, you know, it would just be a wide open area. So you can carry much larger objects in this configuration, whether that be lawn equipment or moving boxes or whatever. Super capable, super practical for whatever you would possibly need, and super flexible. Even if you just want to use it in the 5-seat configuration, you can do that. I'm gonna take my shoes off because they got all muddy, but we can hop back here and you get so much back seat space. It's insane. Look at all this leg room. I'm 6'1". I can stretch my legs all the way out. Plenty of headroom, like I said, and that just massive piece of panoramic glass adds so much light and so much airiness to the cabin. It's really great. But passenger volume is excellent. Heated seats for outboard passengers, rear vents, and you even have a 120 volt outlet that I'm using, and then 2 USB-C ports as well. Now, as far as the front seat materials, I talked about this a little bit in my full review, but for almost $100,000, right around $96,495, this material up here and all of the materials in the cabin should be higher quality. This is kind of silly. This is the only real like leather portion, little RST badging, little 2-tone accent stitching, but all of this is all hard plastic. The only real soft touch like leather material is up here on this one little portion. This is like a really scratchy rubbery material. And while you do have some really nice bolstered leather seats here, they're not like super sporty or, you know, they've got a little piping, little bit of accent stitching, perforations for heating and ventilating, 8-way power adjustable, all that's fine. But you'd think for this price point, you maybe get a little bit higher end materials. Now here inside the cabin, you'll notice that it's very similar to the other EVs we've looked at, even the Equinox EV that I recently reviewed on this channel. You have the same 11-inch driver information display there that has some customizable views that you can kind of switch through here. One of them has full Google Maps built in, and then all of your lane systems and everything. I don't know why that's flickering. And then just a nice clean design. And then you have a 17.7-inch driver infotainment display. It's powered by Google, so it's got Google Assistant, Google Play Store, Podcast News, Google Maps, all that kind of stuff built into it. It's got that full 360-degree, system I talked about. There's your bed camera there. But then you get that 360 view, and you can click through all the different camera profiles, which is really nice. But it's practical too. You've got a full trailering menu. You've got auto park assist that I've showed off in previous videos. It works pretty well when you use it correctly. Climate control there, on-screen Wi-Fi hotspot, different driving modes that you can completely customize. You can do one pedal mode on or off. You can do the wide open watts, which gives you full power to get that 0 to 60 around 4.1 seconds. Normal mode, off-road, tow and haul mode, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of nice features in this system. You do not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, unfortunately, but we knew that was coming. And then as far as other things inside this cabin, you do have a Qi-enabled wireless charging pad, a 12-volt outlet, 2 USB-C ports. You have this kind of adjustable center console here, so you can pinch here and slide this back to get access to a nice deep pocket down here, or slide it back halfway. If you still want to be able to use part of the pocket and the cup holders, you can do that, or you can close it all the way up and just have a secret compartment down there. 2 cup holders, little storage pocket here, and then you get some Silverado First Edition badging, which is really nice on this kind of soft touch leather material armrest here with some two-tone stitching. You can lift that up, get a nice deep pocket here with another USB-C port. And then you do have a smart rearview mirror up here, which I love. You do have that adaptive suspension over here that I mentioned. You can lift that up or down, open your trunk and frunk. You do have a heads-up display up here as well. It's not bare bones by any means, but for $96,000, like scratchy material here, like gloss black plastic, I think there'd be a little bit more. You do have Super Cruise standard, so that's nice. But I've actually made a video comparing Super Cruise to Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving. I'll have it linked down below. Alrighty, let's take the Silverado EV RST for a quick test drive here. So again, the shift stock is now exactly like it is on the Equinox EV. Just put her in drive and get going. And we'll drive in the my mode, which I made specifically. The steering is sport steering, the suspension is the sport suspension, the acceleration is the sport acceleration, but the motor sound is off. I don't like the fake piped in motor sound that Chevy does. Never been a big fan. I talked about it in my Equinox review. I just like when fast cars are fast cars and you know they're fast because you're going fast, not because they're telling you it's fast via audio cues. I hate that. I think the whole Ioniq 5 piped in gear noise and shifting, and I think it's the stupidest thing ever. I hate it. I would never buy a car that did that, or if I did, I wouldn't ever use it, because I just think if you want a gas car, buy a gas car that makes all the noise. If you want an EV, you're buying it because you want that dead quiet, instantaneous acceleration. I don't want a bunch of noise, a bunch of smoke, a bunch of smell. I just want it dead quiet, but infinitely faster than all the cars that make all that noise. But speaking of fast, let's go ahead and put it into wide open watts mode, or wow mode. Warning though, when I put it into wide open watts, it's going to bring back the sound. So if you don't want the sound, you can't do the wide open watts mode. Like if I accelerate right now, no noise. It just goes. It's not super quick, but it goes. But the second I turn on this wide open watts, it makes a turning on noise, but then you push it. This is a little bypass road, but it's still 55 miles an hour, so perfect place to test this out. Just get out here and we'll just give it full throttle here. I talked about this in my full review. If you haven't seen that and you want to know kind of more nitty-gritty details, you can head over to the Bachman Auto Group channel and watch that. But when you're flooring it and accelerating, you have to hold on to that wheel for dear life. Like it just starts throwing you around. I don't know if it's like too much torque and it can't handle it, or what the case is, or if it's a steering mode that I'm in. If you guys know a little bit more about that, drop it down in the comments. I'd love to know what the reason is. But the second you put that pedal to the floor, I mean, you have to it's like reeling in a fish. It's like, I'm gonna do it again. Like you have to fight the wheel, man. It just wants to pull so hard in one direction or the other. Also, a weird thing I'm noticing is a lot of my assist systems aren't working, but I don't think that has to do with the wheel pulling in different directions, because it was doing that before and I was having all the assist systems on. Does it feel like 4.1 0 to 60? I don't know. But because for the last 4 days, prior to making this exact video, the past 4 days, I've been daily driving the Cybertruck, and it's the Cyber Beast Edition. And that thing has a 0 to 60 at 2.6 seconds. The second you touch that pedal when you're in the Beast acceleration mode, it pins you to your seat. It makes you lose your lunge, makes you poop your pants. So 2.6 and 4.1 are very different, although they have very similar horsepower numbers. The Cybertruck at 845 and the Silverado here at 754, I think. Maybe that's a testament to Tesla's motor design, but it just feels completely different. Let's go from a dead stop here. Well, we've got a wide open road here. All right, this is from 0. Yeah, man, I am like gripping the steering wheel, just really trying to hone in and stay on the road there. It's fast, right? I don't want to downplay it at all. Like, this is a big truck and it's getting going real fast. So, you know, props to Chevy for being able to do that. This is a dual motor all-wheel drive configuration, and it is 4-wheel steering. So exactly the same as a Cybertruck, will all the wheels turn at the same time. And like I said, the prices are about the same. The horsepower numbers aren't too far off. Something about the Cybertruck, man. There's something about it. I don't know what it is, but this thing is still really fun to drive. I don't want to take away from it at all. It's comfortable. That air suspension's real nice. You can raise it up and down depending on what you need or how you prefer to drive. I prefer to drive in the lowest setting just because I like to be connected to the road. And you've got a lot of great technology here with your 360-degree camera system, Super Cruise, Auto Park Assist, all that kind of stuff. Great stuff. Rear view mirror camera, the Multiflex Tailgate, the Multiflex Midgate. All of that stuff is absolutely awesome, and I love it. The only thing I'd really change about this Silverado EV RST is just upgrading the interior materials to a point where I felt that they matched the $96,000 price tag, and I'd make it just a little faster. Maybe offering a tri-motor configuration would help with that, or giving it a little increase in horsepower or something like that. Just a little nudge. Maybe bring the 0 to 60 sub 4. And I think that would make a difference. You know, maybe 3.5 or something like that, just to give it that absolutely electric driving experience, and no pun intended. Now, obviously the Cybertruck is one of its main competitors, but there's also other ones, the F-150 Lightning, which I have not driven, and the Rivian R1T, which I have not driven. I'm just comparing it to what I've spent the last 4 days driving, which is the Cybertruck, and I have a lot of experience with that, so I'm just speaking to that. But there's other fully electric trucks. There's an Avalanche right over there. It literally looks exactly the same. There's other fully electric trucks that I could compare it to, you know, and I hopefully will soon if I can get my hands on those models. While the Cybertruck I think is more fun to drive and has just a better feel overall, I think the Silverado is more truck-like than the Cybertruck. Having the Multiflex tailgate and midgate just changes the game. It makes it feel so much more capable, so much more customization, so many more things you could fit into this thing. It just feels more like truck-like, whereas the Cybertruck feels kind of like a luxury SUV with a truck bed. And while we're on the highway here, we can go ahead and turn on Super Cruise. Maybe? Hello? It won't even let me turn on Super Cruise. So you're really showing out here, Silverado. I'm trying. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make you look good, and you won't let me turn on your driving assistance. All right, well, no Super Cruise demo. Sorry. I don't know what's going on there. Kind of embarrassing, Silverado. But since Super Cruise isn't working and I can't do that demo, I'll tell you that I really like the Regen On Demand paddle. But again, it feels comfortable. You know, everything feels solid. Not a lot of creaks and cracks. You know, a little bit up here, but everything feels real solid, well made, well put together. Yeah, it all feels good. And of course, it should for $96,000. And of course, there will be plenty of other trim levels that are going to be at much lower price points. I say much lower. There will be other models at lower price points. I'm not sure how much, but lower price points. And so if you really want to get your foot in the door in an all-electric Silverado, you'll be able to for a little bit less money than $96,000. This is just what they're starting with, you know, to try and get people in the door and kind of gauge interest, and I'm sure ramp up production based on that. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the 2024 Silverado EV RST here. Are you going to pick one up? Do you already have one on order? Let's talk about it down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.